Hello, everybody. Welcome to the lunch table. My name's Evan. I'm joined with the whole crew today. We got Nick, Joel, Weave. Joel is here. Hasn't been on a little bit, but mock draft time. That's when Joel appears. So yeah, we're doing if you can tell, we're doing a mock draft 1.0 of the cycle on the lunch table takes. So we're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna go. Nick has the first pick, and then we'll just go in the line down through here. So Nick, you were up with the Titans with the first pick. You are now on the clock.
All right, Titans' first overall pick. Obviously, the big thing with this draft class is there's not really a huge standout quarterback that you can take with the first overall pick. So I could see a more quarterback needy team like the Giants at 3 or something trade up with Tennessee eventually to get the first overall pick. But because we're not doing that, there's a pretty close to a generational player in a position of need, and that's Abdul Carter, the edge from Penn State. We all obviously have seen him play for the past 2-3 years as Ohio State fans. This dude is one of the most dominant edge rushers I've ever seen in college football. He single-handedly kept up Penn State in that game against Ohio State this year with 2.5 sacks and a couple pass deflections. He's just been a monster his entire career, especially since he's moved to edge. And he's going to transcend that Titans pass rush into something actually formidable, hopefully. And maybe they get, quarterback competition for Will Levis later in the draft or in free agency. But to me, Abdul Carter's too good of a player at too important of a position to pass up with the first overall pick. So I would be taking him if I was Tennessee.
I think we can all attest to that. That's a pretty darn good pick.
Yeah.
There's no
pretty
complaints
self-explanatory on that one.
If they're not sold on any of the quarterbacks, that's probably going to be the pick.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I was Titans.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So Joel, you're up with the Browns at number 2.
Number 2, I think you could go two ways, and kind of talked about this one a little bit leading in. I think this one is you go BPA, or if you like a quarterback in this draft, you do that. And personally, I'm not real big on these quarterbacks this year. So I'm going to go with Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter, you're getting arguably the best player in this draft, a two-way guy that can be a wide receiver, but also can be a stud corner. He should prove that he could do it.
Where would you play him?
I would play him
if you're
corner.
the Browns. Play him corner?
I'm playing him corner, personally.
If I was the Browns, I'd probably start him at corner, but I would definitely have him come in at receiver.
Yeah,
I think
in certain packages.
I was going to say, I think
he's got to play both sides still,
I think that's true. And the steps he made this year at Colorado on the defensive side of the ball were immense. The amount of times you see him popping up in the news and everything like that, just he makes another outstanding play, batting balls down. He was impressive.
Heisman Trophy winner for a reason.
Oh yeah, he's in my opinion, he's the best player in this draft.
Yeah.
I think I've always been high on Travis. I said he was the Heisman winner. I've been high on him since the start. I think he's the best.
He's a
player.
monster.
I think he's the best player in college
player.
football, honestly. And I wouldn't bat an eye if the Titans took him instead. I'm a huge Travis Hunter fan.
If I were the Browns and they did that, I would be very happy regardless because you get one of those two guys.
Either way, it's a win-win no matter who you get. I'm just saying, I think Travis Hunter's that good.
I agree. But yeah, we're gonna go with Travis Hunter. Probably play him at corner, get some packages in there.
Yeah, I mean that helps him on both sides because corner, Denzel Ward's kind of aging, and he's had some injury issues. Then wide receiver, obviously, outside of Jerry Jeudy, isn't great, so Travis can fit both of those roles. So that's perfect pick for them.
I am so excited that Jerry Jeudy actually did something this year. I'm not going to lie to you.
The years of, he's going to break out trust. Finally
actually had a solid back half of the year.
He went over 1,000 yards, right?
I know.
He did.
Yeah,
Didn't he have that 250-yard game against the Broncos on Monday night?
Yeah, when Jameis Winston was just airing it out the whole time.
Hall of Fame.
He
Jameis
threw
Winston
for over
game.
500 yards in that game, I think.
And two pick sixes.
2 pick sixes.
But 3 or 4 touchdowns, too.
Average Jameis Winston performance. All right, I'm on the clock with number 3 with the Giants. I think if you're a Giants fan, I think this board came pretty favorable for you. You need a quarterback. Your quarterback right now is Drew Lock, and you can't go in starting him there. I think the Giants could go with a more veteran route at quarterback, going with guys like Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, guys like that. And I also think if they aren't able to get one of those, I think there's a real possibility to trade up with the Titans to get number 1 and draft a quarterback. Because the Titans aren't kind of shop the pick a little bit. They're not fully sold. But if the board falls how it is right now, the Giants won't have to trade up. And I have them going with Miami's quarterback, Cam Ward, best quarterback in college football this year. Led the Miami Hurricanes to a pretty good season, and I think he has the most. I think he's the most pro-ready quarterback out of all of these. It's between him and Shador, but Shador's kind of there's a lot of stuff with him. But I think Cam gives you kind of a modern style quarterback. He can throw off the pocket and outside of the pocket, off balance throws. He's very like mobile and creative. And he really zips the ball in. I mean, there's been multiple times when he was at Miami where he did stuff that we see in the modern day NFL where he evaded sacks, evaded pressure, would throw off his foot like 30, 40 yards down the field on a dime. But there are concerns with him. He does try to be a little bit too, I guess, like fancy sometimes. Like he doesn't set his feet. He trusts his arm a little too much. He has great arm strength, but sometimes that could be a disadvantage if he puts the ball into tough windows that in the NFL won't really be able to be there.
Yep.
But overall, I think he's the clear QB1 in this draft, and with the team that needs a quarterback as badly as the Giants do, if they don't go out and get one in free agency, I think Cam Ward's the pick, regardless, especially with the top 2 guys off the board here early.
Yep. I think that it just makes sense.
Plus, they need someone to get the ball to Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, they need.
Like they've got
they need
decent players
someone.
on defense. Like Malik Neighbors, rookie year, stud, over 1,000 yards with terrible quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like,
Even if you aren't completely sold on this quarterback class, like you have to think of it. Brian Dable and who's the GM? I forget his name.
Joe
Schoen or
yeah.
something like that. Like they're
On their way out.
This
if
is
they
their
don't win.
this is their last year if they don't win.
Yeah.
So they're hoping to draft a quarterback that can hopefully get the ball to Malik Neighbors and help them win some games. So I
Yeah.
think that's the kind of the thought process right there with a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Ward has like potential to be decent too. It's just
Yeah, I don't think none of these guys are like generational players. Like I
No.
think the ceiling for him and Shador and the other guys, like basically mainly him and Shador, are probably like high quality starters.
yeah.
None of them are
above
like,
average starters.
Yeah,
like in the top.
I
like,
would say that's like the ceiling.
16
though.
or
I don't
20.
like honestly, like to be honest with you, I think like both those top 2 guys, like I would say the ceiling for them is probably not even a top 10.
no,
Like I just
I think Cam Ward could get there if he just like
in the right system.
in the right system.
I
Jay
guess
Daniels
yeah.
type thing. But
I don't really love. I'm not a huge fan of the class, but I do from the Giants standpoint. I understand.
you
taking
got to
one,
get
but-
a quarterback.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, head coach and GM are on their way out, so you might as well just take a shot on a guy who's a great athlete, got a cannon. Hope for the best with their wide receiver 1. But I am super pumped about my pick with
up with 4
the Patriots. Yeah,
You sound it.
I'm excited about this pick because
There's 2 routes, I think.
in my mind, there's one clear route that the Patriots are going to go. If I was the Patriots, get Drake May, your franchise quarterback, who I think had a pretty good rookie year.
He had a good rookie year.
Get
He had a
him
good rookie year. for
some
all things
weapons.
considered.
Get him some talent because I have been harping on like that's been my number one thing with the Patriots for the longest time now. I've been harping on them for so long. They have no offensive talent in the slightest. Like they have nothing offensively.
Drake May was by far their best offensive player.
Drake May is
no
by
doubt
far
about
their
it.
best player. Defensively, they're
Solid.
they're
He got
solid.
pieces.
Solid.
they are solid on defense. They have nothing outside of Drake May. So in my mind, the very clear pick here is I think outside of Travis Hunter, the best receiver in this draft. I'm gonna butcher his first name, Teriola McMillan.
T-Mac.
Yeah,
T-Mac.
the wide receiver from Arizona. He is, I think, 6'4", 6'5", about
6'5".
212 pounds. So he's a big dude, real tall, big body guy. He's real fast. I didn't watch a lot of Arizona football games this past year. Obviously, it's Arizona, but I do remember the one Arizona football game I did watch. This dude had like 350 yards receiving and like 3 or 4 touchdowns. Like, I mean, this dude is a absolute monster. I think, like I said, outside of Travis Hunter, I think he is the best, and he might, even with Travis Hunter, he might be the best receiver in this class. And the Patriots get a awesome gift for Drake May to kind of, get this offense going a little bit. So I love that pick.
He had 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns in a
He's-
4-8 year.
Yeah,
He's a true deep threat.
yeah. He's tall and he's big too. Like he's
6'5",
he's got-
210.
He's got the speed of a deep threat, but he's a freaking tall. I mean, he's a big boy.
He didn't test at the combine, so I don't know what his 40 was, but he.
Well, but
I
you
mean, he looks
turn the
fast.
film on,
Yeah.
like you watch him play on the game, and he's a fast guy. So I'm a big fan of this guy. I really like this receiver. So I'm excited to be able to take him to the Patriots here with Drake May.
Yeah. I like this pick. I think they make this pick if in free agency they go and address offensive line.
Which they probably
Dude,
should.
Because
And-
the receiver class in the free agency isn't too great, but there's a lot of offensive linemen. So, like, the
I'd rather-
debate is,
yeah.
like, or guys like Will
Chris
Campbell or
Godwin or-
Amon Membu, guys like that are also kind of in play if they hit receiver more in free agency.
Well, but I would rather. I mean, looking at free, I'd rather bring in a 21-year-old, 6'5", like deep threat receiver than bring in a 30-year-old still playing
Chris
well,
Godwin or
30-year-old
something
Chris
like that.
Godwin.
Yeah, no,
like
I agree.
I'd rather get like a duo that I'm going to work with for the foreseeable future in my franchise than just more of a bridge.
But it's
receiver.
just like the Jamar
they-
Chase, Penei Sewell situation. Like, would you rather have a weapon or
somebody to protect?
your young
Well, I
player?
think
That's the
my
argument.
thing, like Bengals wise, obviously we know the Bengals don't do anything right, but I think the Patriots can address.
They gotta get his
I
jabs
think
in.
I think the Patriots what.
I said you got to get your jabs in. I love it.
Oh, we'll get
12 minutes in.
We'll get there at 17 too. But I think the Patriots. I trust the Patriots more to fix the offensive line than I would trust the Bengals. So, and I think there's guys in free agency offensive line wise that you can bring in. If I'm the Patriots, without a doubt, I'm going McMillan there.
Well, and you also got to remember, New England is going to spend. They have
They have
the most.
They have
the most
They have like
cap
110
space.
million cap space. Like
They are going to spend this offseason.
They can go out and single-handedly fix their offensive line with 26, 27, 28-year-old linemen for the foreseeable future and go out and get the best receiver in the draft class. I mean, the Patriots can overhaul this team in one offseason.
They could.
So,
It could be a quick.
The money's there. They got the draft capital. Like I'm a big fan of the Patriots. Right? Shout out to Ryan, but I think the Patriots could really
shock some teams this year.
well if
Or shock.
They're in a
they-
similar spot to where the Bears were.
yeah.
last year,
If the Patriots hit on the offseason, I think they could be.
which the Bears didn't.
I don't
They're
think
not going to compete for the division.
No. I'm not having them compete for the division quite yet, but I do think they could probably like win.
Be a respectable team.
Yeah, they could be a
like
decent
6-7 games probably.
7 or 8 maybe even. I mean, it all depends on what
depends
Drake
on-
May does in
Drake
his
May
sophomore
year,
year.
too.
But I mean, I think if you get him McMillan, I think that's going to really help. So I'm a big fan of this pick.
All right, Nick, you're on the clock with number 5 at the Jags.
we're not-
Jags. It's hard.
Shoot, dude. So he gets the Bengals.
I can trade the Bengals pick to you if you want the Bengals pick that bad.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I'll give you the Bengals pick. For if you haven't been following NFL news the past couple days, the Jags have kind of just nuked their entire team outside of like
Got the
Trevor
young
Lawrence.
gun at GM now.
Yeah, got
Yeah.
the young gun at GM. So they need a lot of things. They need a bit of everything, to be honest with you. But once again, here I'm going to go with a player that we've seen with our own eyes against Ohio State. It's a dominant force in his position, and that's Mason Graham, the D tackle from Michigan.
I had a feeling.
Best D tackle in this draft class, probably in arguably the past 2 draft classes. He's a monster. Elite run stopper, can get pressure to the quarterback. Is a mammoth of a human being. You pair him with the likes of Trayvon Walker, who's taking steps. And if you get someone like Josh Hines Allen, obviously had a breakout year, take a little bit of the pressure off him because he doesn't have to worry about the run defense duties, hopefully, as much. I think Mason Graham is a great pick. He's again monster D lineman, elite run stopper, and they kind of need a bit of everything. So that's the route I would go if I was Jacksonville.
Yeah, I like that pick.
I like that pick. I like that pick a ton. You kind of leave me in a tough spot here.
At the Raiders with 6, they were busy yesterday. They traded for
Traded
Geno
for Geno,
Smith.
which-
So quarterback may or may not still be in play.
Prior to that taking place, I probably would have gone Shadur.
Yeah.
So now I'm in a tough pickle here because, I mean, I'm considering a
think
guy
you
that
got
was
some
also
pretty
in
good
the
options
conversation for Heisman this year at this pick.
Just BPA.
Yeah, it's a tough one here because
like it.
the other option you could go is corner, but I'm not sure if I want Will Johnson at this pick.
Yeah.
Um,
The injury concern.
with injury concerns and whatnot. This one is a good one. I like it. Leaving me at a tough spot, guys. Thanks. Or I could go safe and go edge or something along those lines. But
I have a player in mind that you already mentioned that I would take if I was the Raiders.
I think I'm just gonna go BPA, and I'm gonna go. You need their room for this position was terrible last year. I'm going Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, I kind of get caught up in that idea of
Don't want to take a running back.
don't want to take a running back that high, but at the same time, Ashton Genty last year was everything and then some. Like he was a reason why their team was where they were. I'm sorry, but Zamir White's not it. You need a guy, and best player available. You went out, got Geno. You don't need a quarterback. Take the best player available. Go Ashton Genty.
My
He's a
only
solid
question,
receiving
my only
option.
question for you along those lines is why not take an offensive lineman?
I mean,
Because their offensive line was just terrible last year, wasn't it?
they made
And you went out and got
Some-
a new quarterback, so I mean, I
it
don't
wasn't
know.
as bad as
I am a
most, but
huge advocate of just constantly drafting offensive and defensive linemen.
They have-
though, so.
they have a solid.
Their left side's good. Their right side's not great.
I don't know. I just
the
keep-
right side's who is it? Alex
Alex
Kappa.
Kappa, Thayer
Oh
Milford.
gosh, yeah, okay.
But on the left side,
They probably could have
Colton
used.
Miller,
I
James
probably could have done right tackle, but
That's what
I
I
don't
was,
know.
That's what I was thinking you were going to do. But
I don't.
know.
I mean, I could have gone Campbell, but I don't.
I'm a huge. I am a just absolutely massive advocate of just absolutely stacking up on offensive and defensive linemen, though. So I think that's where the game of football is won. I think that's what the Eagles have done.
I could have
And
gone.
it's worked
I
out
mean,
pretty well. So
I could have gone Will Campbell, but I'm just gonna roll with it. Why not? Let's go for it.
I like the Genty pick. They like to run the ball a lot. He's the best running back, and we've seen in recent years like Bijan got drafted top 10, Jahmyr Gibbs got drafted
Just
high,
transcend those
and with the
offenses.
I think with the play of Saquon Barkley, I think running back is kind of coming more back in demand with teams running more of a
Teams, yeah.
too high safety look,
Yep.
taking that deep ball away. So I think a team like the Raiders that made an effort last year and the year before when they had Josh Jacobs and guys like that to run the football, get Ashton Genty, who's the best running back in the class, and we've seen how running backs can dramatically change offenses recently. Example, Eagles, Jahmyr Gibbs with the Lions, stuff like that. So I think with him, Geno, yeah, the offensive line is concerning, but I mean, like we mentioned, they could probably go fix that in free agency if they wanted to. So I like the Ashton Genty pick there at 6, just getting a BPA. So I'm up on the clock with 7 with the Jets. The Jets could go a multitude of ways. Aaron Rodgers is not here anymore. Then Devontae Adams isn't there anymore. They got a new coach in Aaron Glenn. So a lot of changes for the Jets, and there's a lot of options here. You look at guys like Tyler Warren at tight end, who's an all around weapon. You could go tackle. Heck, you could go quarterback maybe if they like Shador a lot. But I
What do you
think they're sorry. What were you saying?
no, I was just going to say, what do you think about the Jets going on the defensive side of the ball? You know,
I think that's in play. I think everything.
Everything is in
because I
play.
mean, yeah, they kind of need a lot of positions, and I mean, Aaron Glenn is kind of. I mean, he's a defensive guy, so I just thought maybe maybe getting him like a defensive weapon. I don't know,
Yeah.
we got maybe some defensive backs or like an edge rusher or something. Maybe.
Yeah. No, they definitely.
I just want to know what your thoughts on that were. Maybe.
No,
I
yeah,
don't know
they
if
definitely
like
need a
they
lot
need
of-
offense, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they could go Shamir Stewart, Mykel Williams, James Pierce, guys like that. But I'm kind of leaning a direction. So they've addressed their offensive line fairly, but their right tackle position is a big need. Morgan Moses is not going to be there for a very long time. You have the rest. You drafted Olu Fashanu. He'll be your left tackle. So I'm not like in. I think I'm going to go in the offensive line route. I'm going to go Armand Membu, the right tackle from Missouri. I think he's the best right tackle in the draft. He went nuts in the combine, ran a 4.91, 34-inch vertical, 31 bench press, reps. So he just absolutely dominated. He's a very, very good tackle. He's got quick hands, super athletic, like I said, with his combine. And I think he's going to be able to kind of round out that offensive line. And then I think in the second round, with how deep this edge class is and defensive line class, I think you could address defensive line in the second round. But I think getting that right tackle spot so solidified in that offensive line, so whenever they do get their quarterback, whether that's in free agency or in either this year's draft or next year's draft, they'll already have a set-in-stone offensive line with guys like Olufas Shanu, Joe Tippmann, Elijah Vera Tucker, and now you add Amon Membu. I think that's a pretty good young offensive line that I think can really work well. And with guys like Breece Hall and Braylon Allen now, I think they're going to be wanting to run the ball a lot. And I think with Aaron Glenn coming from Detroit, obviously they like to run the ball. So I'm going to go Amon Membu, get them a solidified right tackle for the foreseeable future, and kind of shore up that offensive line. So, Zach, you're on the clock with the Panthers at 8.
All right. You're going to have to let me look here for a second.
I have a guy that I would pick.
Do you now?
Do you now?
I think, so they traded away, what's his name? I'm blanking out on his name.
Brian
to the Giants.
Brian Burns.
Brian Burns, yes. They traded Brian Burns last offseason.
They need edge help.
Yeah, edge, defensive line's definitely the way to go here. Defensive line and edge is definitely the way to go here for the Panthers. So let me see. How old is this guy?
I love it.
I don't know. I'm looking at there's like 3 different edges.
I have
eyeballing here.
two edges that I would take if I were you.
I am in the same boat.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's a guy from Texas A&M that's kind of been piquing some interest, I think.
We're talking.
Did you say now we're talking? Yeah, it was him or probably 1 or 2 other guys that I was going to eye, but it's the Panthers, and I don't really care that much. So we're gonna go with a edge from Texas A&M, Shamar Stewart.
That's what I was gonna say.
We're gonna take him.
Dude's an absolute athletic freak.
Yeah, well, that's what I looked at it. He's 6'6", 290 pounds as an edge.
Well, do you want to hear his combine?
I know he blew up the combine.
4.59 40,
Yeah.
40-inch vertical, 10.11 broad.
And he's 290 pounds at 6'6".
Oh my!
Yeah, so this dude
is a super soldier.
And for perspective, players who have ran like that are guys like Myles Garrett and athletes like that.
Yeah, so this dude is just an absolute physical specimen. I don't think he's probably the best well-rounded edge. I think there are other guys that are probably a little bit
on
more
potential with this pick.
Yeah, but I think that there's definitely other guys that are a little bit more well-rounded. Like I was looking at Jalid Campbell from Bama. Even James Pierce from Tennessee. I've been a fan of him. So there are guys that I think are currently better at the position, but this dude is probably one of the best athletes in the class. So made waves at the combine. He's young. He's only 21 too, so that's a big thing. He's a very young, extraordinarily, for lack of like Nick said, super soldier athlete. So I think this is a good pick to fill in for Brian Burns and just kind of bank on getting some younger guys in there and hoping to turn the curve around for the Panthers. So
he also has 34 1/8 inch arms, so he's got long arms too.
yeah, he's
His only downgrade is he didn't really have a lot of production at Texas A&M. Like he didn't his sack numbers weren't high, but if you actually watch the film, like he got to the quarterback a lot, but the quarterback would just get the ball.
Yeah.
But people argue like there's an art to sacking the quarterback, which I agree.
Yeah.
But I think you're drafting him off of just athletic traits.
Well, he's young. I mean,
and
he's got the
ability.
yeah.
I think he has a super high ceiling.
Yeah, that like I think he's got the ability to kind of grow into the position because he's 21 and he's an absolute specimen. So
So you're looking at him to
everything's
be-
there. It's just, I mean, well, and who's to say if he didn't play for a better team and a better scheme, he wouldn't have more sacks?
Yeah, no.
So, I mean,
Texas A&M,
you know.
all of their sack numbers were low.
Yeah, so it's like who's to say if you don't put him on Georgia, he's the number one
Exactly.
overall pick.
Exactly.
You know,
so I like that pick. That's who I was talking about.
yeah,
Me going, so.
yeah. So I like him. I think it'll be you put him in a good scheme and get him some development. He could be an absolute monster, nightmare.
I agree.
I am
No.
loving.
All right, Nick, you were at number 9 with the Saints.
With the Saints, I'm looking. They don't really have a clear consensus as to what they're going to do with pick number 9.
Maybe you just go BPA or something then.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, they could use
Do you think they would consider
D-line.
quarterback?
D-line,
Yeah, I'm
potentially
looking
wide
at
receiver.
D-line, wide receiver. Those are the two positions I was looking at.
Do you think they would consider
They could use
quarterback?
tight end
They could probably go tight end too.
because there's what's his face out.
Taysom Hill.
Johan Johnson's a free agent.
Or,
Taysom
yeah.
Hill's out for the season.
Yeah,
right?
they could go tight end. As
That could be.
Quarterback.
Well, actually, the Saints could have a pretty fun pick though because there's a tight end on the board that is really just a weapon.
freak, yeah.
Like,
He's unreal.
He's a wide out
he's-
along with
yeah,
tight
he-
end, so he's kind of an all around
he's
you
kind of an
you take
all-around.
him, you're kind of filling.
Nick's
both of
just
those
trying to
positions
slide him
there,
down to the
but-
Colts at 15 or 14.
Yeah.
I don't know if he really fits great in the.
This is a guy that if you have
No, that
like,
would be the
if you
Cowboys
have like
coming in raking.
if you have like a skill position need, this is the guy because he can literally fill every skill position.
Yeah.
Except for probably he could probably even do running back.
Probably could do running back.
But do you
Didn't
think
they
the
use him
do you
like
think
that?
the Saints what?
Didn't they use him like that?
Yes, I think they did a little bit.
They used him as a quarterback, running back, and wide receiver.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you're a team that just is weak in the skill position department, this is the way to go because he just can fill every single skill position.
Yeah, but
He's
I-
pretty much a better
also-
Taysom Hill, honestly.
You also could.
He genuinely
couple
is a
others.
better Taysom Hill. If you think about that, is he not?
Let me just look at their.
he's
depth chart.
not. I mean, yes, he's a better.
better.
He's
a better.
he's a utility skill position.
As
Do you think,
badly,
to answer your question though, do you think that the Saints could look quarterback here if the board fell like this? Shedeur Sanders?
It depends on how well they like Shedeur
Yeah.
Sanders.
Because I'm
There's a
going to
wor-
be honest with you, Derek Carr is not the answer.
Who's their
he's
Who's
not.
their coach?
They
now?
need to draft a quarterback.
That's a good question. Did they hire someone?
They hired
Dennis-
the Eagles.
Kellen Moore,
OC,
yeah,
Kellen
yeah,
Moore.
yeah,
Yeah,
Kellen
they
Moore.
hired Kellen Moore. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that made the pick for me. As badly as I want this guy to fall to number 14, I'm taking Tyler Warren here.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
He, especially with an
He's a
offensive,
utility skill
offensive
player, man.
head coach.
I
Kellen Moore is going to find ways to use him.
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
Olave
Yeah.
gets some support. Hopefully he doesn't.
Chris Olave gets opened up that way
yeah,
too.
he gets opened up. Hopefully he doesn't die from hospital balls thrown by Derek Carr anymore.
Well, but
Don't get me started there.
that's what I'm saying. Like the Saints just keep streaming these not very good old bridge quarterback. Like the Saints are going out and getting bridge quarterbacks and using them as franchise guys. They aren't using them as bridge guys. Like they need to draft a future franchise quarterback. Like they need to draft the future of their team at quarterback. So that's why I'm saying, do
It's a
they
it's a
look
possibility.
Shedeur?
It's a possibility.
Do they look Shedeur and then just sit him under Derek Carr for another year and give Derek Carr the
They could
boot?
do that.
in year
Yeah, they
two
definitely
and,
could do that.
You know,
I
because
don't
they
like-
need to get their future
They
identity.
need to get out of cap hell.
Well, yeah, but
first.
I know. I'm just saying, quarterback wise, ever since Drew Brees is retired, they have streamed bridge quarterbacks, and they've not been good since.
Because they went all in thinking that Derek Carr would be the guy to lead them to glory,
Which
and
is
now
just
they're going to
stupid.
pay the
Like-
repercussions for it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And I've been ever since Drew Brees retired, I've been saying they need to draft a guy who's
They
going
need
to come
to
in
do
and
a
be their
full
replacement.
reset, and they're
Oh
not
yeah,
doing
yeah.
a full
That's
reset.
what I'm saying. So that's why I'm like, do they go Shedeur here and just sit him under Derek Carr for a year? I mean,
No, yeah, that's not a bad
but
idea.
Tyler
I'm just,
Warren is the best
I'm
offensive
just
player.
not a huge fan of Shedeur as terms of being an NFL prospect.
I'm not either. I'm just saying, do you think it's a
you could do-
possibility?
It's a possibility. It's just not what I would do. Tyler Warren is too good of a player. At this
I'd probably,
position to
yeah.
pass
I
up
mean,
here.
you go Tyler Warren, you get a utility skill player that is going to pretty
see
much
what
fill in
else.
holes at every skill position you need with a
you
new
can't go
offensive-minded head coach. You probably run through another season of not being so good. Now you're in
Probably
the
this.
conversation
I mean,
for a quarterback next
move
year.
inside.
Yeah.
for sure.
Am I up?
Yes. Number 10, the Bears.
Number 10, the Bears, and I think this fell right into your lap. And you can move him inside. You could potentially move Will Campbell inside.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
And
I am
it's-
shocked he is still on the board.
Pretty easy
to be
pick.
truthfully
I don't think he'll
honest
be
with you.
here.
I don't think he'll be.
Well,
at
that's
10
why I
either.
was surprised when you didn't take him with the Raiders.
Here's
'Cause I
my
was like,
question: do you guys think he's going to be a tackle or guard in the NFL?
dude,
Because that's a big thing.
either one they need. I don't know.
I think he's going to be more of a guard.
Yeah, I think
because he
he'll
has
be more of a guard.
he has really short arms. I think he could play tackle, but I think he'd be more. I view him kind of as like a Peter Skoronski type guy, where he can be more efficient as a guard. So that is the reason why like he did kind of
Fall a little
slide a
bit.
tad, but
Worked out really well for the Bears.
I think
'cause they
it
desperately
just
need
makes
offensive line
sense.
help.
With the way this board is fallen, Will
And with
Campbell
them.
jumps in. You just traded for Joe Tooney, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, that was a nice play.
Yeah,
you
they're
can move
retooling
Jonah
that
Jackson
O-line.
around, too.
And Ben Johnson's in there.
So, I'm going Will Campbell.
That's what I would do.
I'm shocked you didn't take him at 4, to be truthfully honest with you, because the Patriots.
Me?
The Patriots.
They need
the
offensive
Patriots
line
desperately
bad.
need O-line help.
Yeah, but I
took him
my
before.
my thing was like, dude, you get this receiver. I mean, they have $110 million. You can fix the O line in free agency,
It's fair.
and you get a wide receiver.
No,
that-
yeah, I know what you're
that's that
saying.
good.
That's
I get
just
it.
not
I think
the
my
route.
pick
That's just not
totally
the
makes
route I would
sense.
go.
No, it's between, and like we said earlier, it's that Penei Sewell, Jamar Chase conversation.
Well, and looked how it worked out for the Bengals. They took Jamar and went to the Super Bowl the first year.
Yeah, look what they're doing now.
well, in my board, I personally think
You're a Bengals fan. Come on now. Like what?
I just wasn't going to leave him hanging. I'm disappointed.
I
with
would
my
have
Bengals.
left him hanging.
my board.
I'm
I
disappointed
think
with my
that
Bengals.
Armand Membu is a better tackle
Yes.
than
Yeah.
Will Campbell. So the real thing is, if teams view him as a guard, I don't know if they would be as intrigued to take him in that like top 5 range.
True.
But Will Campbell's a great player.
No doubt about
Great
He's
that.
a
player.
monster.
Are
O-line.
you
The
guys-
tape is really good, but
Are
I'm
you
just
guys
saying I'm worried
implying-
about him as a tackle.
Are you guys implying that the Bengals should have went?
Oh my gosh, we're not talking about this.
We
We are not talking about this.
No,
Stop. No,
No,
I'm not talking about this.
Okay, you don't have to. I seriously want to know because, like, that. Like, are you
Doesn't
implying they should not have
matter.
taken Jamar?
I'm not getting into that. No, they should have taken Jamar Chase.
Okay,
They definitely
but-
should have taken
all
Jamar.
all right.
Jamar was the correct pick.
Okay, well,
Jamar
I just
was
wasn't
the
sure 'cause
correct
you were throwing me for a loop there, saying that. I was like,
Jamar.
Jamar was the correct
Triple
pick.
Crown winner. What a scrub.
yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about? Now they mishandled everything else,
Yeah.
but I do think that was the right pick.
No, I agree with that. I don't want to crawl down that rabbit hole.
But that's why I think for the Patriots, I think that makes sense. I mean, you get an absolute stud receiver, pair him with your stud. I mean, your up and coming quarterback. I think it makes sense. That's
Yeah.
what I would do. I would fix the O line later in the draft and go and get some guys in free agency if I was the Patriots.
all right.
I'm up at 10 or 11?
11.
With the 49ers.
San Francisco.
They got a lot of holes. Just give me a minute. I'm just looking over my stuff. So they need help really on they probably need help on corner, offensive line, defensive line.
Everything.
Yeah. Oh, missed it. So I'm kind of torn between a few guys. So free agency wise, I know they're losing Charvarius Ward. I think Dre Greenlaw probably. Trent Williams, we don't know about how much longer he's going to be around.
Probably not much.
So kind of leaning tackle. So it's really between 2 guys here.
You know what to do, Evan.
I'm just trying to. There's 2 guys that I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn about. They're like both very similar.
You know what has to be done.
All right. I'm gonna go with Josh Simmons from Ohio State. Tackle.
Yeah.
Obviously, he got hurt in the Oregon game, but before that, he was absolutely phenomenal. Best tackle
Best tackle in the country.
by far. And his rehab is going extremely well. He's actually going to be holding a personal workout here soon, so he's way ahead schedule. And so I think if he can do that, remind teams, hey, I'm healthy. Because the biggest reason why he would slide is because of an injury. But if he can show teams, hey, I'm healthy, I think he's one of the best tackles in this class. With a team that needs tackle help with potentially Trent Williams and I don't even know who their right tackle is, Colton Minkovitz.
Yeah, I don't even know.
But I think tackle makes sense. There were a couple other guys I was kind of debating, but I think going tackle makes sense. I was debating between him and Kelvin Banks at that tackle spot, but I think Josh Simmons, if he can show that he's fully healthy in that workout, I think this is kind of about where his range would start. Oh. So you're at 12 with the Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. All right. I know what I'm doing here. Pretty easy pick. I'm going to take a Marion Hampton, running back from North Carolina. I think
That's a fun pick.
As you guys alluded to earlier, I think that running backs can transform an offense for sure. They're kind of making a little bit of a comeback. And with Ashton Genty going off at 6, Marion Hampton is definitely the best running back that's on the board. Marion Hampton could even make a case to end up being the best running back in this class over Ashton Genty.
He's a stud.
So I think the Cowboys get a good pick here. And the Cowboys are definitely no stranger in investing in first-round running backs. They've done that quite often with Ezekiel Elliott and Emmitt Smith and guys like that. So they're not afraid to invest in running backs. They desperately need a running back. So I think they're going to go out and get an absolute stud. Like I said, a guy that could end up being the best in the class. And it's a deep running back class. So get some offensive firepower for the Cowboys here.
Nice.
I like it. All right, Nick, you're on the clock, 13 with the Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins. I'm just trying to look at some combine stats.
The Fins.
But I'm struggling.
Yeah, you are.
Just in case of a player I would go. Okay. It's not wanting to pull up right now. The Dolphins, obviously, defense is a position of need, particularly in the D-line and safety department. But looking at the D linemen, you've got a guy like Kenneth Grant, but I'm not as high on Kenneth Grant as I was on Mason Graham. I think
He's the other Michigan guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep, there's 3 Michigan defensive guys that could go in the that are probably going to go in the first round.
Yeah, but he's not as good as the other one.
Mason Graham, no.
He's not. Look at O-lineman.
Take the guy from Toledo.
From Toledo.
Darius
Yeah,
Alexander.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty good.
Yes.
This is a
It's just
real
fun. It's just funny to see a dude from Toledo in
This
the
is
first
a
round.
little-
Logan Mitchell was from Toledo last year.
Yeah,
He's now a Super Bowl champion.
that's true. What, like Toledo's just pumping out
Yeah.
NFL defensive players? Like what? Is that a thing now? Is Toledo like a defensive NFL factory?
You know what?
The Rockets.
I think I will go Kenneth Grant here at 13.
What?
I think that's the route I would go
Okay.
if I was Miami. I think their run defense needs a bit of help.
What?
And
Fits.
Kenneth Grant is also a very good defensive lineman for.
Christian Wilkins is not there anymore.
Yep,
That's true.
No Christian Wilkins.
Not bad. All right.
Ah.
Nick, I'm just going to say, this board is beautiful.
Does
for you.
anybody want to trade the Colts pick to me so I can botch it purposefully?
Not
There's
funny.
there's 3 guys. There's 3 guys that are really.
I know the route that I would take. I am, unfortunately, option number 1 slam pick is gone. But
There's a pretty. You have plenty of
There's
options.
3.
There's
I got 3 right now.
like-
There's also a
Give
clear
up.
player that I know Chris Ballard is salivating over.
yeah.
Is it that one? Or is it the other one?
The other one I showed you.
Oh no, yeah.
He's salivating.
Just
over
based on their draft history.
Their draft history would make this one make sense, but I'm not
Athletic
monster. Yeah. You think you know who we're thinking of?
Yeah.
That would be an interesting pick.
Do I do it though? I'm thinking about it.
Why not? Throw a loop in
It's,
there.
it's intriguing.
The way the board fell, I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna go Will Johnson. I'll go corner.
So he's just a
They need
absolute physical.
they need help. The other one I was thinking was
6'3", 220.
oh, what's his face from South Carolina.
Holy crap. Nick Iminware.
Nick
Wait,
Immori.
who'd you go?
That's the guy who I think.
Who'd you go?
based
I went with
off
Will
of-
Johnson.
Based off of Chris Ballard's draft history.
Yeah.
It just
an
makes
ath-
sense.
Oh, the Michigan
A
guy?
dude who's an
Yeah.
athletic and physical
I
specimen.
think that's a good pick. The Michigan
It's
guy.
just he just draws towards those
Yeah.
guys. But I do
I
like
think-
the
I
Will
like the
Johnson
Michigan pick.
I think Will Johnson could also fall though because of injury.
Yeah.
So
pick. Nick, what are your thoughts?
But
on
if he's
that?
healthy, he's like the best corner
Would you have rather gone
in the
Jedi Barron?
country, though. This past
I
year.
probably would have gone Jedi Baron. Yeah. Jedi Baron or Malachi Starks. But, I don't hate that pick. We need secondary help.
I think
bad.
I mean,
if,
Will
if-
Johnson,
if
like,
Will
if he-
Johnson's healthy, I think
Yes.
he's the best.
he's the best corner
That's
in
what I
this, in this draft, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Well, if he was healthy, like when he was healthy last
But
year,
it's
he was like the
Due
consensus
to
like
Brett's
best corner.
injury concerns,
Other than Travis
Kenny
Hunter.
Moore's
Well,
getting up in age. I don't like.
Yeah.
I personally don't know if I would take a shot on an injured corner, but I do agree when Will Johnson's healthy, he's the best corner in the class.
Yeah.
Other than Travis.
Yeah, other than
Other than
Travis.
other than Travis Hunter.
But even then, it's like they're comparable in my opinion.
As a corner, just Travis Hunter's just a better like all
Yeah.
around football player.
See, that's why I do the Colts. I didn't botch it.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Atlanta Falcons.
I would have just scrolled all the way to the bottom and taken whoever was at the very bottom.
no, you take Will Howard.
That's what I would have did. Yeah. they do need a quarterback.
There is a
Their quarterback is horrendously awful in Indianapolis.
there is a linebacker out here that is eyeballing me here.
All right,
I think Evan and I are on the same page here.
here's your pick. Wait a minute. You're gonna get the Bengals. Shoot, I wanted the Bengals.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm getting.
He is.
15. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get the.
Hey, do you want 16 and I get the Bengals?
No.
It's the
No. All right, this pick's pretty easy.
I would have given you the Colts.
This pick's, I think, pretty easy. I'm honestly shocked this guy fell this far.
I agree.
Jalen Walker, linebacker from Georgia.
Yep.
Put him on an edge, absolute stud. Let me look up his.
That one just makes sense.
Yeah, 6.5 sacks last year.
They need a pass rush.
They desperately need pass rusher.
It's so bad.
He's 6'1", 243, so he's kind of right around that edge size, a little bit smaller, but obviously very fast. And with him being kind of that versatile linebacker / edge guy, you can play him in different positions. He ran a 4.5, which is pretty good that puts him in the 94th percentile at linebackers. So yeah, I just think he's a great kind of all around guy, and I'm honestly surprised that he fell to here. He's not like a true edge rusher guy, like guys like Mike Green and like James Pearson, guys like that. But I think Jalen Walker's a stud. I think he's gonna be really good, and with a team that desperately needs, really honestly, linebacker and edge, I think Jalen Walker fits perfectly for him. Keeping him in Georgia with the Falcons there. So we have the Cardinals up at pick 16.
This is stupid.
You should be happy. The Bengals have a great,
Yeah, they have a.
Oh no,
great
I know. That's
slew
why
of
I wanted to make
options.
the pick.
phenomenal board.
That's why I wanted to make the pick.
The top 5 guys right now, I would love all of them.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to make the pick. For Cardinals, I'm gonna take the Kelvin Banks tackle from Texas for the Cardinals. Get another good tackle across from
Paris Johnson.
Paris Johnson.
Yep.
Always stack up on offensive line help.
They
and
got their stud receiver.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can go build in the trenches.
build the line. So
All right, Nick, don't screw this up.
if you give it to me, it wouldn't be screwed up.
Bengals.
I love this board, by the way.
Yeah,
This is
board's
wonderful.
great for you guys.
This is
unfortunately.
very ideal.
I got 2 for sure that I would love to take.
I know who I would take.
There's like 7 guys. I would
Yeah,
have to
oh, I
say.
I know there's 2. There's a lot, but there's 2 for sure.
Based on the events of the past couple of days, I'm not really looking at receiver because I think they're going to do everything in their power to keep T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Correct.
So I don't really like Luther Burden here.
Yeah.
Jade Barron's a great player, but the Bengals' corners were actually decent over the back half of the end of last
Okay,
season.
at the back half. Yeah.
Back half of the year, they showed promise, so I'm not looking there. I think it's
Where
clear-
are you not looking? Receiver and where
receiver
else?
and corner.
Yeah, not in the first round. I wouldn't
Yeah,
go corner first
not in
round.
the first round.
There's one position group that I'm going in this first round.
Yeah,
If they go
it's-
outside this position group,
there's
it's a bust.
so many edge rushers
Yeah.
that you can.
If you don't take a defensive lineman, then you're like,
Yeah. I'm also looking at like
Jadae Barron wouldn't be bad though either.
Jadae Barron's
I wouldn't be.
stud.
I wouldn't be upset about that.
You got to go defensive
That would
line
give us
here.
a CB1.
Yeah, I'm
That
going
would be your
defensive
CB1
line.
for a
It's just-
long time. Because Cam Taylor Britt is not your CB1.
You know what?
No, but you got to go D-line here.
There's just
Especially if they're getting rid of Trey.
If they get rid
Yeah,
of Trey
you-
Hendrickson,
you
that,
have to.
there's
with
I
I
that
don't care if
news,
they
yes.
keep him or not. You got to go D-line
Yeah,
here.
without Sam
you have
Hubbard.
to. Just do what
yeah,
the
you-
Eagles do.
you
Just
did
draft
this.
a bunch of defensive
I
linemen.
keep forgetting that
Like-
Sam Hubbard retired.
Oh, don't worry. I'll do. I'm going to do exactly what the Eagles do. There's just a school that produces elite defensive.
That's what
tackles.
I'm saying. Just take
Michael
the freaking,
Williams.
Yes, yes. That's what I was gonna do.
Michael Williams to the.
You didn't screw it
I didn't
up.
screw it up. It was either Michael Williams or James Pierce Jr.
Or Evan,
Mike Green.
Evan likes the Jaleel guy from Bama.
I think Jahad Campbell's an
Campbell.
Jahad
absolute
Campbell.
stud.
He is.
And I think with
But I don't think you.
Michael Williams
you
is
need an
20.
edge rusher.
Michael
yes,
Williams is
but
20
here's the
years.
thing: Jahad Campbell is an edge rusher. He rushed the
Yeah,
edge for.
that is
he rushed.
true.
He's a ridiculous athlete, and he also is an edge. He's basically Micah Parsons.
Yes.
like he runs. He's very athletic and runs edge. And I think Al Golden being a linebacker guy might intrigue him a little bit.
Yes, but Michael Williams is 20 years old, 6'5", 200 and what was he? 260 some odd pounds.
Plus, he's from Georgia.
Yeah,
No,
he's a
I'm not-
freak,
I-
and he's 20.
I like Michael Williams.
20.
Like no,
I-
dude, like that. That's what I'm saying. Just
I
do
just
what
think
the
I
Eagles
just
do and
think
draft
D
a bunch of
line
D-linemen.
is so after Trey Hendrickson got a trade or not get a trade, but he's probably
Requested.
going to be traded.
Even if the Bengals keep
No
Trey
Sam
Hendrickson,
Hubbard.
I'm still going defensive line. Like no, seriously, like
I think if the Bengals keep Trey Hendrickson, I'm looking more at like a Walter Nolan interior D line guy. to be
defensive
like a run
line,
stopper.
defensive line.
Yes.
If they keep Trey Hendrickson or not, defensive line. If they don't, like, I mean, I would love to have an edge rusher even if they keep Trey. I'd almost rather have an edge rusher
Yeah.
than a defensive lineman guy, but a defensive interior guy. But like my thing, just look at what the Eagles do. The Eagles just consistently draft defensive linemen. Like, and I think, like, I will reiterate this point. I will beat the dead horse here. The offensive and the defensive line are the most important positions in football.
They are.
If you don't build the O and the D line, you will not win championships.
Yep.
And guess what the Eagles do? They build the O and D line, and then they build around the O and D line with the rest of the positions. Like, you have to get guys in the building that are going to be good offensive and defensive linemen, especially with a guy like Joe Burrow.
Yes.
You've got to get offensive and defensive linemen to help him out. So I think you just can sit. I mean, if I'm the Bengals, I would take a couple defensive linemen in this draft class. Like, I think I never have any problem with stacking up on offensive and defensive linemen, especially for the Bengals. The defensive back room needs help. Yeah,
But they showed improvement at the back half.
they
of
did.
last
They
year.
did. Like, yes, the DB room definitely still needs help. Did they improve a little bit? Yes, they could be better, but yes, but no, dude, defensive line is the absolute glaring. You have to go.
Yeah. Plus, Michael
I
Williams
think
is an absolute
Offensive,
freak.
defensive line. Yes, that's who I was going to draft Michael Williams. You have got to go offensive, defensive line.
I like Michael Williams. The thing is with him is he's more of a run. He's an elite run defender. The pass rushing is still kind of coming. It's not like
There,
great yet, but
Yeah.
he's shown flashes of it. So it's really if you want. Like, I think if they keep Trey Hendrickson, I think Michael Williams is perfect because he does what Trey Hendrickson doesn't do well and stops the run very
Yeah.
efficiently. Trey Hendrickson is very good. Is an elite pass rusher, but not a great run defender. So I think they would complement each other
Yeah.
a lot. But Georgia defensive linemen, you can't. I mean, they've proven
time and time
again.
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
But
they're all on the dang.
you also, I think, Mike Green could be a play. I mean, he had 18
Yeah, I was
sacks
thinking
this
of
year.
Mike Green too.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned about the quality of competition.
Yeah, I mean, he did do well against Ohio State when they played. But
I forgot that they played Ohio State this year. That's
Yeah.
true.
So yeah, I
I
mean,
still think the
I mean,
Georgia guys
I think
do.
I think there's a lot of different areas that the Bengals could go with this route, and I wouldn't be mad with a lot
Yeah,
of them. So.
but I think the other thing that you say with Michael Williams, like he's a huge, he's a run stopper. Well, guess
We need
what?
that.
We need that.
No, I know. But
And
I'm just saying-
as the pass rushing is coming, he's 20 years old.
Yeah, but I'm just
Like
saying if
it's
we
coming.
time.
you
if
know,
we
it's
lose
coming.
if they lose Trey, which is what it's looking like, they don't have anybody to get to the passer, and then you kind of need win now guys. But I like Michael a lot. I'm not hating on the pick. I'm just saying maybe a true pass rusher.
If they lose Trey,
If they lose Trey,
If they lose Trey, you definitely need a true pass rusher.
But Mike Williams is a stud.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, Joel, pick 18 with the Seahawks.
Seattle could go one of two ways, in my opinion. Offensive line, but the offensive line play right here isn't the greatest. There's a guy that potentially I've seen mocked up this way, Gray Zabel, but I'm not going him. He projects as a guard. But I'm going to go Mike Green. I think dominant pass rusher. I've seen anywhere from pick 8 all the way down to like pick 18. Like, this guy is a freak of nature. And as what Nick said, the lack of quality competition is what worries me. But at the same time, the dude has all the makings.
He's just a good football player. He was second team All-American this year.
Dude has all the makings of being a stud in the league. So, and besides, you got to think about this too. Like, Aaron Donald went to
Pitt.
Quinion
Mitchell went to Toledo.
Khalil Mack went to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like,
just because you come from a lower tier school doesn't mean your talent's still going to find a way to shine no matter what.
Exactly. So I'm going to go Mike Green. I think that's these next couple picks could all very well be a massive run on edge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
there's always a run on one group.
Wide receiver a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, I'm at 19 with the Bucks. I'm going Jahad Campbell. They need linebacker help. They need edge help, and Jahad Campbell brings them both of that. He's an elite athlete, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. I think he's a phenomenal player. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can do whatever. He can play anywhere. I think Todd Bowles is going to really like him. You have Levante David, who's getting up there in age, and then they do have a promising linebacker, Tryon. I don't know how to say his name.
Shoyinka.
Joe Tryon.
Yeah, but they do need help on the defensive edge, and so I think in packages you can put Jahad Campbell there at edge, and I think he's just a phenomenal athlete, a chess piece that you can move in different areas. Excuse me, and I think I just think he's an absolute stud. And I think a defensive-minded head coach like Todd Bowles would love his services. So,
Zach,
pick 20 with the Broncos. Your guy Bo Nix.
Yeah, I'm a big Bo Nix fan. There's a couple guys I'm looking at here.
There's a lot of guys that are sliding.
I'm looking at here. I'm looking at there and there.
I know the route that I would go.
I do too.
Did you look here?
I didn't look there. No, I don't think I'm going to look there.
Okay.
I think I'd rather go a different route.
Interesting.
I think that one's in play though.
What do you mean? What do you mean interesting?
Well, that's he's connected to them most, I would say. But
I know, but I think just personally, I think I'd probably go a different route. I think I'll just I think I'm really kind of debating between two guys here, a defensive and an offensive guy. All right, with the Broncos, I'm going to take Colston Loveland. Just get them another offensive weapon and fill their massive hole at tight end because I'm looking at their roster right now and I honestly don't even know who their tight end is. So,
can I go piggyback off this? The dude is basically the same frame and setup as Brock Bowers.
Yeah,
and he played.
They need
similar.
He'll be in the slot or like the X spot. Like he'll be out in the
They definitely need a receiver too. But I mean, I guess you just get like a weapon like that. So that'll be my pick for the Broncos.
I feel like Sean Payton likes his tight end.
Oh, he does. I mean, you think back, it was Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, that's true.
The likes of Jimmy Graham.
That's true, I guess. Yeah. Go get Bo Nix as his guy.
Safety blanket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Nick, you're on the clock. Steelers 21.
Pittsburgh at 21.
There's a few routes you could go here.
There's a few routes I could go here, but I feel like Jahdae Barron is too good of a player to continue sliding past pick 21.
Yeah, he's
and they need a DB. Like we said earlier, he's just a good football player. I was also considering going Emeka Egbuka here because they need a true slot guy, and he's also.
I've seen a lot of mocks with him.
What about Shador? If he's still there, I think Mike Tomlin could
straighten him. I don't think
or is he not the type of player that Tomlin?
I don't think he's the type of guy that Tomlin would.
I don't think he is.
Just throwing out questions.
I think he's a little too flashy and stuff for Mike Tomlin. Which is, it's okay. It's just,
I think Jahdae Barron's too good of a player to fall past this point. And
How
it was
is
either,
this guy
It was
still
either him or Emeka Egbuka for Pittsburgh, but they need a corner.
Safety
so I went that
slides,
route.
bro.
Yes.
You know, I don't. I'm seeing a lot more.
You have the Los
I've seen
Angeles
a lot more mocks
Chargers.
with Barron starting to slip, though.
Yeah,
I'm starting to see that more and more and more. So
he had a good combine, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, I know what I would do for the Chargers here.
But, yeah, I mean, he won the Thorpe Award, which is a great corner, but I think it's figuring out if he's a boundary guy or if he's a slot guy or more of a nickel guy. Because I think he played a little bit of both at Texas, but size-wise, he's probably more of a nickel guy.
Yeah.
But I think he's a great player.
I could go. So you took.
Or any of these guys.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, for sure any of those guys. But I mean, they just
Cam Scattaboo.
That does seem like a Jim Harbaugh
Chargers.
type player.
Chargers pick.
I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna
Scatterby
run
in the first
through
round.
you.
I'm gonna run through you. Give me Cam Scattaboo.
Cam
Cam Scatterby,
Scatterby.
21 is crazy.
If Colston Loveland was still here, he would be my pick.
Yeah, Michigan.
Um,
Michigan, man. There's a couple ways you can go.
I'm not gonna go Luther Burden. Ladd is there.
I think
Slide.
I think
Ladd's their
Ladd's, like,
slot guy,
decent.
so I think that takes Egbuka out for me. So I'm in between
Was Golden? I think he was a boundary guy, right?
Yeah.
He's only 6 foot.
because he's a deep threat.
you could go Golden.
Because I'm not. I think Burden could be in play,
Well, they did just release Joey Bosa.
That's what.
but
I
then
was- that's
Edge
why
is
I was
also
doing
there,
that.
and James Pierce is still here.
That's what I was gonna do.
So, but then again, how long are you going to wait and get Justin Herbert help?
You can get like running backs and stuff in the second round easily.
I know,
I mean,
but
like wide receiver wise, like that's. What, I mean, like I think
Running
they're-
back's not a play here. You'll get a great running
you'll
back.
get a
Yeah,
running back,
yeah.
great running back later.
Like
so
I think I would either go Golden or Pierce, but I mean, you just got rid of Joey Bosa, so you need an edge rusher.
Cleo Max old.
Khalil Max, yeah, and like receiver wise, I mean, like,
They don't have anybody outside of Ladd.
Yeah, that's the
but
issue.
like you could probably like limp on I don't know. I mean,
I think those are the two routes. You go edge or you go wide receiver.
Receiver,
here.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go with James Pierce Jr. I think, especially after releasing Bosa, it just makes sense to.
I think you can get a receiver in second round probably too. I mean,
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, in the second round, you can get guys like Jaden Higgins.
Restrepo, Amen, or Jack Bash.
there's always free agents.
Tez, baby. Tez Johnson.
You can always get like a couple year plug of Chris Godwin or something.
You could get a filler guy.
Yeah.
But I think also, I wouldn't be shocked if they went along the lines of Matthew Golden or Luther Burden here.
Yeah.
So
Who we got here? The Packers.
Green Bay Packers.
Evan, I mean,
It's me. I got the Packers.
the Pack.
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.
There's a few guys. There's like 2 guys that I think I'm kind of keen on. I would go receiver, but I don't. I think they need a true wide receiver one.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of these guys really
Are a true
give them more than what they already have.
I agree with that.
I mean, I think.
I mean, I don't think any of these guys are going to be head over heel, like shoulders above.
I think these guys are probably.
like-
I think there's like 2 or 3. I mean, I would say they're probably better than like.
yeah, but I mean, you have like Christian Watson,
They're better than
Romeo
Christian Watson.
Dobbs, like Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed, guys like that. But they want like a true wide receiver
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
So I think I might go in the defensive back because I think Jair Alexander is no longer going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So they need a corner. It's between 2 guys. One dude who just went absolutely ballistic in the combine.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy who was a great player but is coming off an injury. But I think could be really good. Does Green Bay, do they usually go on the safer route or do they kind of go a little risky?
They usually go on the safer
Safer
route.
route.
All right. I'm going to go with Siobhan Revel from
Carolina.
ECU. Again, another one of those guys that if he stayed healthy would probably be a top 10 to 15 guy. Stud corner. Got hurt, unfortunately. 6'3", 193, so he's a really big corner. He's very athletic. Obviously, I don't think he tested at the combine because he's still kind of recovering from that injury. But I think he's a great player. So I think with them losing Jair Alexander, I think getting a corner to plug in with him. So I was in between him and Maxwell Hairston. Hairston ran like a 4.28, 4.29, 4.28. So, but I think Siobhan Revel is a better corner. It's just hopefully he can stay healthy and the injury doesn't affect him long term. But I think at 23 is pretty decent value for a guy at that. Minus injury, probably would have been a top 10, top 13, 14 guy. So,
Nice.
All right, Zach, you're on the clock with the Vikings at 24.
I think I'm going to go interior offensive line help here. I'm thinking I'll go Tyler Booker.
Tyler
Guard
Booker.
from Bama.
Yep.
He was a stud at the combine.
Yeah, so I'm thinking just kind of group up on the offensive line and kind of bulk up a little bit there.
Yeah.
I don't
Good
think
player.
I don't think running back was really in play here, like you said. You can get a guy later. They don't need a receiver. Probably
could
could have went like defensive line too,
Starks.
but
Place,
yeah, I thought about
Yeah,
starting. I don't
learn
know.
from Harrison Smith for a little bit.
replace.
Yeah, yeah. I just think I don't think there's ever anything wrong with bulking up the line. So this is the team I wanted to pick for though. Dang it.
The Texans.
Yeah, I wanted to pick for the Texans.
They also need offensive line.
Yeah, I was gonna go Tyler Booker for. the
Oh, well,
Texans.
I was going to go a different route.
There's
for the
another.
Texans.
There's another great guard that's still here.
There's another great.
I wasn't
guard
even going to
that's
go
still
offensive line for
Not-
the Texans.
I mean, they kind of have to. Actually, no, they could go.
I was
They
gonna.
could go receiver.
But they did just bring in Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
I wasn't even gonna. Yeah, I was not gonna go offensive line for the Texans.
do
I knew
have-
exactly who I was gonna pick for the Texans.
So yeah, they could go receiver, but their offensive line was
Their
very
offense.
bad.
It has.
That
to
is
be
that is
offensive
without
line.
a doubt who I was gonna pick. It wasn't even gonna be a question for
It
me.
has to be.
That's who
you're
I wanted.
Yeah, there's one guy.
Yeah, for
probably
me-
that I would
for
go
me-
offensive line was.
It would be awesome if Emeka Egbuka reconnected with C.J. Stroud, but their offensive line was so bad.
I was taking Ibuka.
Last year.
I was taking Ibuka immediately. I was like, okay, as soon as I get Texans, I'm taking Ibuka. I was like, all right, this is
Their
not hard.
offensive line was so bad.
Get
In
him back with
particular, their
Stroud.
interior.
Yeah, but the
O-line.
best guard just went off the board.
Yeah, but you can play
There's
Gray.
another guard.
you
There's
can play
another one
Gray
that can
Zabel
fill right
as
in.
guard.
He can play every position.
Yeah.
There's another guard.
Gray Zabel can
yeah.
can put in at guard.
He's probably better than Tyler.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take him here.
Oh,
As awesome as it would be for
He can play
Egbuka to
guard
reconnect
and
with CJ
tackle
Stroud,
and center.
they just got Christian Kirk and they desperately need O-line help, particularly on the interior.
I think
so,
Ibuka was the play.
I have a really fun pick
Never-
for the Rams.
You do?
Yeah,
You want to trade it?
sure.
Oh,
take
okay,
it?
now we're trading.
You take it because
All right.
the guy that I was gonna
Here's-
take just went.
Here's my really fun pick for the Rams. So obviously Cooper Cup's probably going to be gone.
Okay, we were on the same page then.
So now you have just basically Puka, and then back to Atwell. Then you have like Tyler Higbee. So I think a guy that Sean McVay might be able to really unlock. I think it could be a guy like Luther Burden. Use him at running back,
Luther Burden
wide
and Sean
receiver.
McVay's system.
Yeah, like-
oh my
like
good lord.
use him as running back, use him as wide receiver. He's a great guy after the catch. I know guys like Golden and Nick Bucher are here, but I just think Luther Burden and
That's
Sean
unfortunate,
McVay's
man.
system would be awesome. I think he would be
That
like
would be
Debo
fun.
Samuel level. Was that who you were going to go with?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I stole it. But
No, it's fine. I was unsure.
yeah, but I think that would be a super fun pick.
It would. That'd be
Because
awesome.
then you'd have Puka, who's more of kind of he's a little bit bigger, and then you would have Burden, who's like kind of your all around kind of guy. I think
I'm
that-
going to
I think he would
Puka
use
all
him
day.
like Debo Samuel has been used. I think that would be really fun.
My thing.
Oh,
is freaking
Zach,
broke.
you're gonna hate this more than
Evan,
anything.
I'm gonna have to use
Baltimore.
your laptop. I'm gonna have to use your laptop because my draft thing just broke. It's fine.
I'm not gonna lie to you when I say this. Zach is gonna hate this so much. This is
I think you're like a undercover Ravens fan.
no.
No, the Ravens just always get good draft.
They get
that's
awesome
always-
draft
yeah.
picks. This is Egbuka.
Oh no!
Mecca.
I did not even think of them going receiver.
Because I'm sorry, Rashad Bateman's not doing anything for me. Zay Flowers is the other option, and I'm not trusting Nelson Aguilar. Defensive wise, they're pretty
They're
stout.
loaded.
They're
And
loaded on the
don't need
defense.
safety at all.
You go offense. You either
Rams, Evan.
you probably go with either
I want-
you
I wanted
go
him to go the
offensive
2
line
picks
if it's
earlier.
there. If Gray Zabel's there, you take Gray Zabel.
Yeah.
But if not, I mean, Igbuka makes sense here.
It does. I agree. They also, I think what could be cool.
I up now.
Now that Starks move
Hamilton.
Hamilton back to his like normal position. At
That's a
safety.
good point too.
Could be another route,
That's a good idea too.
but they do need wide receiver for sure. Because I mean, what's his face? Bateman was better this year.
He
but
was,
I
but-
don't know long term if he's going to be able to like keep that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely could use another guy. And I think Igbuka, I think is the safest wide receiver out of the draft. I mean, obviously we've seen him a lot. Dude's just so reliable. Always gets open. It's really good.
He's just a good football player.
He's
Talk about that security
His
blanket.
comp is JSN, but faster.
Yes.
And JSN had a breakout year and is looking like he's going to be a solidified wide receiver one for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could get Igbuka, I think that's a big steal for sure. I don't like him in my division, but
Yeah,
He
It
should have
makes-
went to the freaking
makes sense for the
Texans.
Ravens.
Well, I don't want him in my division with his college quarterback.
Yeah, that's what it ought to be.
that would be really fun.
No, it would not. That'd be awful.
That'd be great. I think I would just be a Texans fan at that point. All right, so I'm up with the Lions here. I'm not really sure where to go with the Lions.
These are kind of
They're losing a corner. What the? Oh, I thought you were just gonna pick for me. I was like, okay.
he wants this pick done now.
I think they could go defensive back because they're gonna be losing a corner here soon with
Davis.
Carlton Davis.
Is there
I
one?
think offensive line's still in play here too.
Yeah,
They just traded Jonah Jackson.
there's a guy.
Edge, defensive line. I mean, Ellie McNeil and what's his face? DJ Reader aren't very young, and then
Walter Nolan could be a play.
another guy alongside Aiden Hutchinson potentially.
Dude, what if they get Miles?
Oh God,
That would be unreal.
Miles.
Garrett,
Oh,
because he's been linked with them.
They need oh my
dude, them versus
Aiden Hutchinson and Myles Garrett.
them versus the Eagles would be
Unreal.
Just a war. Just absolute cinema.
That would be
well. I'd be happy that
unreal.
he's not in my division.
Yeah,
That's a good
and
point.
That's about the truth.
or my conference. But
I'd be happy. The Browns Colts game 2 years ago, Myles Garrett single-handedly won the Browns that game.
he's single-handedly done that against the Bengals multiple times.
Multiple
He
times.
is a absolute monster.
he's a
Solidified
game-
Hall
one of the best
Famer,
edge
game
rushers
wrecker.
ever.
Yeah, he's a game wrecker. He's a freaking stud.
But that's different.
I've also heard the Eagles. I don't want him to go to the Eagles. I would rather have him go to the
I'd rather have him go to the Lions. Yeah.
Lions would be so much more fun.
Yeah. Because if the Lions win a Super Bowl, I will be
happy.
as long as it's not against the Bengals.
We will be going to Detroit and celebrating with them.
What do you think about Nick Scorton?
I would
The
probably
Lions.
rather take Walter Nolan.
Yeah.
than interior. He's an interior guy, right?
No, he's an edge. Nick Scorton.
Oh, Scorton? Yeah, Scorton's an edge.
Yeah, he's 6'4", 285.
Yeah,
But he's an edge.
huge.
It hasn't listed as edge.
Could work.
If you're going edge,
I'd play him on the interior,
BC
but-
guy.
Or Donovan
Ezraku.
Ezrikau, the
good.
edge from
he's
Boston
solid.
College.
I got his like team of the year card in college football ultimate team.
I'm really not. I don't really know about the Lions here.
There's so many routes that they could go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Malachi Starks as just kind of a BPA. But I guess, yeah, like you said, their interior defensive linemen aren't getting any younger. So I'm just going to take Walter Nolan here. Just boost the up front.
He's
So
a stud.
yeah,
I like that pick.
Elite athlete at the interior line position. Very good pass rusher.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think he could help them out a lot.
Just going
for
to
sure.
bulk up their defensive line and make them even scarier.
Yeah. All right, Nick, you got the Commanders at 29.
Commander.
Well, this board is wrong because they no longer need wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, they could
Maybe
use a third.
they could
maybe.
use a third, but
Plus Debo, I don't think he's the long.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
know
gonna
if
say,
Debo
I
really
don't-
fixes that
listen.
issue much.
I mean this in the most respectful way possible.
But the
I feel like the Debo to the Commanders trade gives off the same energy as Paul George to the Sixers. Okay,
That's fair.
Fair
I
enough.
I don't love Debo
Yeah,
right
I
now.
don't really know if that
I
really
really
fixes the
don't love
receiver
him as a
thing.
long-term solution. Plus, you've got Scary Terry. Debo's going to be your slot guy and your guy in space. You've got a top 10 quarterback on a rookie deal in Jaden Daniels. I'm taking Matthew Golden here.
Yeah.
If I'm the
Those fans are
Commanders.
furious right now.
That's who I was going to take.
I'm taking Matthew Golden here if I'm the Commanders.
Bills
Just have an
fans are
absolute
furious.
monster receiving room with a proven stud at quarterback in Jaden Daniels. And just
Yeah.
figure out the rest as
Yeah.
you go. Keep going all in the trade deadline to fix your defense. You got your quarterback on a rookie contract. Now is the time to strike in order to try to win a Super Bowl. It's going to take some time, but
Just look at what the Bengals did and don't do that.
yeah. Do that. I like Matthew Golden here. He's getting mocked more and more to the Commanders. I think he just makes that receiver room
There are going to be
disgusting.
some studs
Yeah.
that fall in the second round.
It is unbelievable the names that are still available right now. Well, there went my pick.
Buffalo at 30, yeah. That would have been fun for the Bills to get Matthew Golden. They would have loved that.
So I got two routes that I'm leaning towards now. I got, words are hard. Edge or interior, and I think I'm gonna go Donovan.
It's a Raku.
Just call him Donovan.
I'm gonna go Donovan Ezeraku.
Just call him Donovan.
I mean, it could very well be an offensive weapon here. Let's be real. But I also could see this, especially if Matthew Golden goes at 29 as a trade down spot.
Yeah.
For
Absolutely.
a team like the Browns to come in and maybe if you like Shadur,
Get Shadur.
you
yeah.
go grab Shadur.
Or maybe like the Raiders. to sit
Shador fell
behind.
to the second round.
Well,
Which
hey,
honestly-
first round's not over.
honestly-
That's-
Honestly,
that's
it makes
not-
sense.
I don't
It could
think that's a
happen.
crazy thing. Yeah.
It could happen.
all right, you got the Chiefs, Evan.
Yeah. Before I make a pick, I want to just talk about if Shador does slide, because obviously people are probably going to talk about that. Places where he could go. I think L.A. potentially.
I also think Vegas.
Vegas.
Vegas at 6, yeah, but I'm saying if he slides past that,
Jets could even be
How
in
deep
play.
is he gonna slide? You think?
well, we have him sliding
We have
out
him
of the
sliding
first
out in
round.
the first round.
Oh yeah, I know, but I thought you meant the sixth pick of
He
the
will.
second round.
He will not. No, he will. He will be one of the first picks in the second.
Yeah,
round.
I was like,
this
how deep
happens,
is he
if this
going?
happens, a team was trading back into the first
Yeah,
round. of the
yeah.
draft.
I was going to say, this is the perfect setup for like a Browns to trade into the first round.
Yeah,
Again.
like
But
the
once again,
Browns
is Shadur
or-
seriously the long? Do they really think he's the long-term answer though? Or are you gonna just hold out for a guy next year? I mean,
I mean,
And that's
Some team is going to take a shot.
if
I know, yeah.
you're the Browns and you draft Travis, trade back into the first
that's
to get
true,
his
I
score.
guess. Back.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
That's a pretty fun. I would
I
be
guess
too
that's
upset
true,
about with
yeah.
Kevin Stefanski.
yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't be upset
I
about
wouldn't
that.
be upset about
that's,
that.
That's fair, I guess. Yeah.
So, all right. This pick, no brainer, super easy. Josh Connerly, best tackle available from Oregon. They desperately need offensive line help. That was the main reason why they lost the Super Bowl. They just lost Joe Tooney. So I think bringing in Josh Connerly, who is a very good offensive tackle, should kind of help shore up that right tackle. I don't know if he's the left tackle or right tackle. I can't remember. But shore up that tackle position nonetheless and give Mahomes a little bit of time. So
Zachary. I like that pick, by the way. Good job.
So I've got the Philadelphia Eagles here at the end. Of the
Eagles
first.
wants pick 32. It doesn't matter. You're still going to get elite guys.
Yeah, I mean,
Doesn't make sense.
so C.J. Gardner-Johnson is not returning, is he?
I think he is.
Oh, he is.
They're losing a lot on the defensive line.
Yes.
Milton Williams, Josh Sweat are probably gone. They re-signed Zach Bond. They released Darius Slay and James Bradbury.
There's corner.
So they need help on the defensive,
They could do defensive line, maybe corner again, but I don't know if they want to. Probably not.
I don't think
they
they
probably
need
want
it.
more of that. So
Yeah.
that's right. Man, they go defensive line
I don't why is Malachi Starr just sliding out of the first round?
because he's a safety.
Safety. Yeah.
But he's a stud.
He
That's
is
why I
a
think
stud.
I was like the Eagles, just take this guy.
Yeah, I mean he is a stud, but I mean he's a safety, so sometimes safeties fall. I mean Nick Amon-Moore just blew up the combine. He's a stud. He'll probably be a first rounder, but he's not on ours either.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for
That's
the
a Colts pick.
I guess for the
That's what
Eagles,
I think Chris Byler
Nick Evan-Wari.
would love Nick. I mean he's a good player.
He's a good player.
I don't
Could
know
you
if
see
he-
a Maxwell Harrison here?
Potentially he's a freaking athlete. 4.28 speed. I think he's long too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, bring him with Cooper DeJean and Quinion
Mitchell.
I also think limited forward. Darius Alexander, Derek Harmon, Scorton.
Could be that one could be fun.
I'm thinking I'm probably just going to go Derek Harmon.
285, excuse me.
It's the last pick of the first round, and it's the Eagles. I'll probably just take Derek Harmon. You said they need defensive line help, right?
Yeah.
I mean, interior probably
Interior.
not as much because they still have
Oh, they
It's
have,
more of an
they still have
edge.
they have,
Jalen Carter and
what's
George
Jalen
Davis.
Carter?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
probably more edge.
I guess I will not go that then.
So you could go Scorton.
I don't know. I don't know what the Eagles need. I wanted to take Malachi Starks
Do what you
because
want.
I just thought he was just like the BPA.
Who are their-
I think he has no business falling
who
out
would
of the
their
first round.
who would their safeties be? Then?
CJ Gardner Johnson and then some other random dude.
Cooper DeJean.
I'm assuming
Oh,
you're
Reed
cutting all
Blankenship.
this
Reed
out.
Blankenship.
Yeah, Reed Blankenship.
exciting
Yeah,
whites.
yeah.
Eagles secondary.
The exciting whites.
Oh
I mean, they do like their Georgia players, so it
They
would
do
make
like
sense.
their Georgia players.
yeah, they do have Reed. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long CJ Gardner Johnson's really going to be there.
How old is CJ Gardner Johnson?
29?
29.
He is 27.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll just take this at. What did I just do? I don't know how to work a MacBook. What did I do, Evan?
The amount of editing he's going to have to do just because Zach, Jesus loves you.
Yeah. All right, there we go. I think I'm gonna just go Nick Scorton here. Just take a edge rusher then, I guess.
Big beefy edge rusher.
That'll round out the
big
draft.
big and
Eagles
beefy.
there.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to round out the first round. Should I read them all off, or do we care?
You can just
If
post
you
it.
want
probably.
to, yeah.
I don't feel like it. So. But yeah, let us know what you guys thought. Obviously, there's a couple guys that probably won't get to the second round. They got to the second round. Guys like Malachi Starks, Shedeur Sanders, guys like that. But you never know. In draft, people slide.
We said the same thing with Will Levis a
Yeah.
couple years ago, and then
We knew Will Levis was not good.
well, yeah, but we
Same
didn't
with
expect him to
AR.
slide to the second round.
People slide. That's how drafting goes. But yeah, that is our mock draft 1.0. We'll probably do at least one more before draft starts. Monday free agency starts, so that will be fun. We'll be covering that for sure. It's going to be probably nuts, as free agency always is. So, yeah, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.